Man, I have been loving moco, but that doesn't mean that everyone has and that the game is perfect. Today, I want to connect with the community. It's something I like to do here on the channel, and I want to take a look at some suggestions from the community to improve the game as a whole as we get broader and broader. We do have a global release right now, but we know not everyone has been able to get into the game just yet. That will be coming very soon. One thing I want to ask of all of you is to head on over to the shop, jump on in, slide on all the way over to the right, and throw in code ECHO. This directly supports my channel. As a Supercell creator, it keeps me going. Thank you guys so much. Now, let's get into what the community has to say. Let's take a look. We're over here on Reddit, and as you can see, moco wants to know what's going on. Is everyone happy with the game? Are changes need to be made? This is an extremely long thread. I'll be linking it down below in case you want to look more in depth or maybe even add to the conversation. Let's see what type of improvements people want. We're going to start out right here. I'm not going to name everyone as we go because that would just be extensive, but being able to rename your gear kit. I have 4 and always have to remember, for example, bosses, group damage, healer, etc. I 100% agree with this, and so does our boy Kairos. He says, piggybacking off of this, I want 8+ gear kits that you can rename. Once you unlock smart rings, there are so many things to tweak, and there are so many different builds. Man, I couldn't agree more. If we go over to gear right here, you'll notice that there are 4 different gear kits. So for me, I have my PvP gear kit. I have one that I use, I don't even remember what this was for. This was just maybe for dungeons, and this right here is when I'm just farming up projects. And then my son has his gear kit where he gets to play around. Being able to name these would be great because then I would be able to remember a little bit better about that. But to go even further, a little bit deeper on gear kits, when you come on over to versus modes, you basically have to change your gear, and there's 4 gear kits under each of the different modes as well. This seems a bit extensive to have to build out for one shot, twice cooked, quad damage, mega charge, mega mayhem. You know, it's just so many gear kits. I would prefer if we could come on over here to the standard wardrobe and we could have, as Kairos said, 8, maybe even 12 different gear kits that we can use, name appropriately, and modify over time. Because right now there's just not enough. As he said, with all of the different rings that jump into mix here, there's so many different builds you can have, and there's so many different elements to each build. But let's continue with some other suggestions by the community. If you could only have one companion in a zombie apocalypse, who would you choose? My choice is always Bumblebee. Puzzles and Survivor Transformers collaboration officially returns on April 1st. Last time, Cybertron Knight Golden Scout Bumblebee took a spaceship to Earth and launched a Jedi counterattack against the Quintessence with humans. I love the mini games inside of Puzzles and Survival. They mix some things together that I really enjoy all into one. Things like games that balance on reality, offer fun strategy gameplay, and having the addictability that keeps me logging in for more throughout the day. You all know what I'm talking about. It's when you just continuously log in just so you get a sweet taste of that gameplay. Also, not needing any Wi-Fi, that's a huge plus. Having Transformers be a part of this experience makes it even better. They bring me back to when I was a kid and absolutely obsessed with the IP. There's absolutely no way that I could not relive this now as an adult by playing Puzzles and Survival. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, a lot of IP-themed items are available to be earned. The main city skin, the marching team, and the world monster. We also have a collaboration gift code, which is PNSBOTS. Again, I want to thank Puzzles and Survival for sponsoring today's video, and I urge all of you to try out this experience with my download link in the description. We have specific boss loot to grind for. What are we talking about here? This would make the game skyrocket. So people are looking for particular items, things that can be farmed from particular bosses. A lot of people ask about, what's the end game inside of moco? What are you doing once you grind everything, you get all your levels? Well, there's a lot of different things that take moco on that journey. First of all, at level 30, you unlock the Elite Hunter program, which is seeming to be a seasonal thing inside of the game. As you can see up top, it says next chapter drops and there is no date. We have all the things that you can unlock. So essentially what's happening in here is you are able to get all of these elite tokens. Elite tokens can be spent on cosmetics and also unlocking yourself different modules to improve your build. You essentially are going to be grinding to get as much of this as you can throughout the season. Then I believe your elite hunter level is going to be reset back to level 1. And with the next season, you can either unlock this for the premium pass, you can get cosmetics like these, as you can see I have unlocked them, or you could just go grind all of the epic items, which are really cool as well. Really, the $20 you spend to unlock only unlock a few more cosmetic options for you. Nothing more. You could still go ahead and get your dash module and the buffs that improve your builds, which are actually quite good because that means all players, free to play or big spenders, can all be on the same power level. And I love that we have elite modules. Every season we can get a new one and we can choose which one is better for which build. I like this. It's great for endgame. Also, endgame offers us, in my opinion, a lot of PvP. I think PvP is some of the best inside of the game, and I welcome it. Maybe a little bit more rewards. 1,000 XP when you're getting some really good XP for a win seems like a little bit low. Maybe leaderboards that have some rewards on top of that would be nice as well. I'm sure we'll see some of that in the questions that we have here. But of course, we're also going to see more dojo levels, more rifts, and even more worlds over time. Let's go back into this. An option to track quests would be nice. These tracked quests would be displayed similar to jobs. Not a bad idea. There's so much inside of moco. I think Supercell does a nice job of over time breaking it down so that you don't get overwhelmed with things all at once. I think that's a huge perk of the game. So, I don't know, more structure of how things are broken down is always welcome. Do I think it's needed to make the game playable? No, I don't. I actually quite like how they have projects broken down. I think that it's really nice. I think that you being able to select by category is also really nice. So I could look at by completion, like what's ready to be completed, or I can go by specific categories. So I can scroll down and say, okay, what gadgets and what weapons do I need to work on? All right, so right now I'm working on the portable portal. It's almost done. We're at 812.9 out of 850K. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna start grinding a new weapon, trying to get all of that stuff done. Same thing with gadgets. It really works the same. So I think that that is actually in a pretty good place. How about retry options in the dojo? Dojo can get tough. I mean, I'm right now struggling in the dojo myself. I mean, a lot of us do. It's difficult in the dojo. I probably just got to spend a little bit more time in there. I typically do a lot of open world farming and things like that, and a lot of PvP also. What else? I would like to see the stats of the gears. I know they removed it because players would only see the damage stat and not the effect or something like this, but it would be useful to see how much something damage deals and heals without having to go to the cool zone. This is something that Supercell does differently than many other action RPGs. If you play a Path of Exile, if you play a Diablo, it gives you all those stats. It's a stat-heavy game, which makes for a very brain-heavy game. A lot of math that comes into it. I think that what Supercell does here is, I think that they're giving us the ability to keep it a little bit more casual versus it being a really math, stat-driven, big brain type experience. And to be honest, I welcome that. I particularly like it that way. We have something about Life Jacket. The Life Jacket challenges need to be changed from damage dealt to damage received. It's unreasonable and incredibly long slog to have people get over 1 million damage with it. Oh my God. Well, when you look at my projects in particular, and we go to the gadgets, as I was just saying a few moments ago, the Life Jacket is there. Remember, when you wear Life Jacket, it grants a shield. When the shield breaks, it does damage. I agree with this comment because, I'll tell you what, it's gonna take absolutely forever to me to damage enough with the Life Jacket on. People from my stream, because I do stream live every single day, Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Would love to see you guys come through and grind some moco with me. People are saying that when you get pets and when your pets can have the shield too, they grant more damage from those breaks, and that's when you should grind it. At the end of the day, it is a damage absorbing gadget, so it will make more sense if you got rewarded for the damage that it absorbed versus the damage that it did from its break. I happen to agree with that very much. In my opinion, you should just ignore that one for right now. It's going to take forever to grind it. Maybe a change will be made there. All right, we have another few options here. Exit button on dojo so we won't waste the time when you know you can't beat it. I actually like this. I've been thinking about this for many different areas of the game, but there is a problem associated with it. One, if you're doing it in dojos, there's no issue because you're doing the dojos yourself. You wouldn't be leaving behind a party. So I think that's a huge win. That should be implemented. Doing it in some other areas of the game, like if we want to do it inside of rifts or something, we would run into problems with other players just dipping on you if the rift isn't going well. And I don't think that that should be the case. All right, they also say pop-up notification where there's a new event on other maps so you won't need to exit your current map to check it. All right, let's talk about what they're looking at here. So when you go over here to Worlds, you'll notice that it tells you when there's an event going on. So right now we have an event going on, an overcharged alert in sewers. We have a job to do in the village, and that's really it. But when we're in the sewers doing the overcharged event, 3 minutes and 40 seconds goes by, and you're like, okay, maybe I want to move to another event. You don't know where the event's happening. You don't know if there's an event happening. So it'd be really cool if you were in the zone. Let's say we're inside of the zone and we're running and doing our stuff. If a pop-up notification would maybe come on over on the top left side of the screen and would say something like, you know, this is going on here, and maybe even a button to directly take you there. I think that could be a really nice change and keep you from having to drop back into the map every single time. Because, you know, just less clicks is a quality of life change. I actually like that suggestion as well. Project list button on your screen so you won't need to go back to the apartment to check. Okay, what he's talking about here is if we're over here and we're taking a look at our projects, you sometimes don't know what's next. So if I'm in a zone farming and loving it and I had completed my portable portal, there's no way for me to like switch to another one or to see what I could do without coming back to my apartment, coming here and checking and doing those switches. So that one I think is a little bit less of a need. It would also be considered a quality of life change. I particularly don't think that it's needed, but again, I'm curious to see what the community agrees or disagrees with that. So show how much time is left when you click the ongoing event button on your screen. All right, let's move on to some of the next one. Add a quick pre-game lobby for raids. See what people are using and mainly their levels before you waste your time. That's not a bad idea because sometimes you're going into some of these raids, you're trying to get a sub 1 minute and 30 second time, and just based off of the teammates that are inside of that lobby, you will or will not be able to get that done. Strictly based off of their level and their strength. So that's not a bad idea. I don't hate that. Remove flat or optional and do social hub with all the stuff like wardrobe and direct portal from the hub to the PvE maps. Also implement portal within the PvE maps to switch maps so you don't have, basically that's what I was saying. We already kind of talked about this, what we were looking at. And that's it for me. We have Loxy saying, I love the flat and being able to eventually make it your own would be amazing. However, I do miss the feeling in an interconnected world. Right now, it feels just like going through the menus to go to a different level. I would love a central hub for players and life events and stuff going on, shops, showdown battles, clan recruitments, etc. I'll tell you something that I've thought of is it would be able to switch builds without having to go back to the apartment as well. We have 4 different builds, and sometimes you want to switch it out based off of the enemy you're going against or what's going on. In other games, such as Diablo Immortal that I play on my Echo Gaming Diablo channel, I'm able to, with my pet inside of the game, I'm able to switch builds on the fly wherever I am. And that wouldn't be a bad idea here either, because maybe a boss is in front of you that needs area of effect damage. It's a lot of stuff. Maybe it's a totem that's going to be summoning a whole bunch of things and you want to do splash damage type defense attack. Or maybe you're going against something that needs a really focused attack on one enemy. Being able to switch builds on the fly, it could be a nice change. I actually don't hate that. Okay, here's a big one. Remote While says, the ability to aim. Now, inside of moco, when you're doing your gameplay, there's no aiming your stuff. It basically auto-aims everything for you, hence making this more of a casual experience from a hard, grindy style of action RPG. There are some things that you can aim to go in the right direction, or you could figure out how aiming works based off of your proximity to other enemies and make things manipulate your skills, or I should say your gadgets, to work in a certain way. But you don't have the actual ability to aim. Now, aiming on mobile, it's not that hard, right? You kind of just drag and push the way you want it to go. It's not bad. But what happens if Supercell decides that, hey, we made ourselves an action RPG right here? Action RPGs thrive on consoles and on PCs. What if they ever want to take it to that platform? Will it then give a console or PC gamer an advantage over a mobile gamer? Or will it give a mobile gamer an advantage over a PC gamer if this aiming mechanic was more precise? That's something that has to be thought of. Now, there's no word that this is coming to PC. There's no word that it's coming to consoles, although I do think it would be a great play by Supercell to do something like that, taking a genre that's kind of dominated on those platforms and bringing it there. Also, that could be a huge way to turn this into one of the #1 Supercell games and played games of all time. But I mean, let's do that. That would be it would be freaking awesome. But right now, I don't actually mind the simplicity, and that's coming from me. I'm an action RPG guy. I play action RPGs all the time. I don't hate that I don't have that extra ability because no one has it. We're all playing it the same way. So for me, it's not a big downfall, although I know a lot of people would love the ability to aim. Apartment customization. That'd be cool. Being able to decorate your apartment, cool. Masculine clothing. Yeah, the clothing is a little bit, I don't want to say feminine, but I wouldn't say there's anything like masculine. A pack locator, so I can find the group immediately after spawning on the map. That's not a bad idea. How many times have you spawned on a map and you're running around like, where the heck is the mob? I got to get with the mob because I'm getting smashed on this map. Not a bad idea. An option to choose the gear you want to level up. Here's the problem with that. If you could choose the gear that you level, then you would only level some of your favorite gear. Then it's going to be like a Clash Royale system. How many times in Clash Royale have you been playing a certain character, a certain card? For me, it's the Hog Rider, right? Level my Hog Rider up as high as I can get the Hog Rider. And then I'm kind of stuck. Because if I want to use Golem, Golem's not leveled. If I want to use Giant, Giant's not leveled. If I want to use an Expo deck, that's not really leveled. If I want to do Logmate, that's really not leveled. So I actually like that you aren't able to focus in on one particular thing or the weapons that you want, because it does hurt you in the long run if you want different types of options for leveling. Now, yes, it will allow you to have a stronger build for that favorite build that you use, but in the long run, it's going to kind of be a it's gonna hold you back. I like the ability that it's all randomly done, because at the end of the day, what Supercell wants us to do is get to the max level of the Elite Hunter program every season, max all of our gear, and then keep on going from there. What else? Don't introduce Ellie until level 30. She's useless until then. She doesn't bother me. Yeah, she's kind of sitting there the whole time. She's sitting like right down here. You don't know what she's doing until you hit the Elite Hunter program. It never bothered me that she was there, and I think her being there kind of gives you the, oh, what are we going to get from her when we finally get there? Either way, I don't think it matters. Better Rift matchmaking with players or bots that are the same level as I am. I can't complete projects in the time frame with under-leveled hunters. We kind of touched on that a minute ago as well. Elite Hunter only hangout and apartment furniture, pets, dungeons with exclusive cosmetics, gears, weapons, mounts, and pets. This is a cool thing about moco. We could be rewarded with cosmetics all along the way. It doesn't even have to be like gear. It could be different colors of your name. It could be different frames around things. There's so many ways that they can customize this to show your achievement of certain things inside of the game. This game is heavily focused around cosmetics. It's really primarily focused around cosmetics. So rewards in the form of cosmetics, I think, is a huge one. Community events. Do a certain thing as a community in a game and win a prize. That would be cool too. And actually, if I go back, we have the events that come on in the game. So right now we have the Rift Gauntlet on a roll. What I like about this event is that you get some rewards for it. It introduces the new premium pass as well, so that you can get cosmetics from that. Again, the only thing that you would get from that are these cosmetics, and I believe more in the future for other events. I love that they're throwing these events inside of the game. What I don't love is that I can't go with friends, that I'm put into a random party. Check it out. Check this one out right here. We got Honor Roll 2. My record is 1 minute 30 seconds, 0.6. I needed to get it completed but in 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I continuously jump into matches, and you often will have one player, not that's under-leveled, but that's under-skilled, someone that just doesn't get it, a healer that doesn't know how to stay alive, or a tank that doesn't know how to actually tank, or a damage dealer that continuously dies and doesn't drop the damage in time, really making it difficult. So if I were able to do these types of events with friends as well, get a little party going and get into it, that would be really ideal for me. If that's there, and I am somewhere how missing that, please let me know, because I'd like to complete this one as soon as possible. All right, what else? We have another list here. Abilities to aim, clan, guilds, and wars. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of clan in the future. Right now we have the chat systems, by the way, in the game myself. My chat group is the Echo Fam group. Just a small group, and we got a whole bunch of people in there. I should say hi to them once in a while, because when we play together on stream, that's a place where everyone can talk. But the ability to have a clan and something like that could be really fun. Show projects and monsters on the map. Map on the top left. I actually like the map on the right, personally, but top right to move the map. More tank weapons, more bruiser weapons. I will say, I anticipate that maybe like every season, every time that there's a new Elite Hunter season, maybe they introduce a new weapon. Maybe they introduce a new gear. And they can continuously do this. Because think of, again, let's go back to Brawl Stars. They're always bringing in a new season, a new brawler enters the mix. Well, we don't have characters inside of this. We get our character, and then we get all the gear to make this character what we want it to be. So being able to implement a new gear piece or something to improve a build every single season, that would be really cool. Some kind of history profile with stats, remove XP cap. Let's talk about the XP cap real quick, okay? When you go to the portal, you'll notice up top that I'm currently getting 2 times XP. I had 4 times this morning. I grinded for a little bit, got to 3 times, and then I just kind of sat there. Once I do a little bit more, my 2 times will go to normal, and then it'll all go away after hours and hours of playtime throughout the day. There needs to be some kind of cap in this genre. Let me explain. We started on day 1. Many of you watching the video started 2 weeks ago playing Moco. We got to our level, and we're continuously grinding. If there's no XP cap, people wouldn't be sitting at level 50 now. They'd be sitting at level 75 or 100 right now, and they would continuously just grow. And then what happens in a month when Fred decides to start playing the game? Hey Fred, welcome to the game, buddy. There's no way you're catching up to anybody because there's no level cap. It'll be a problem. It could even be a problem with the level cap now. I'm wondering if over time new players may get, at the beginning of the day, 16 times, and then 8 times, and then 4 times, and then normal XP, because there's going to be a distinct difference in XP gain. Now, one thing that doesn't matter is your actual level, because really, it's not a PvP power focused system. So at the end of the day, someone that starts playing 3 days ago can compete against someone that's played already for a month if they have some extensive skill, because there's no power that's differentiating the two. So yeah, it's a big discussion point there. But it always feels bad when you're out of XP for the day. Believe me, I feel that as well. But also, it has to be there, or else you're going to get some people that grind it for 18 hours a day and no one's going to be able to catch up. Some kind of history profile with stats. Chat per map. Not a bad idea, like a world chat per map. Read weapons, gadgets, and passes without changing the build. 1 or 2 build slots per weapon, not just 4 in total. Detailed descriptions of abilities, time, CC, and damage. Again, we spoke of that. I kind of like how it's simple and how we have to figure it out for ourselves in the cool zone. Surrender, vote, and rifts. That's a good idea. A surrender vote. Because in rifts, you know if you're going to beat it in time or not, right? So if you have a surrender vote, then the group would have to have a majority vote to surrender. Not a bad idea. That's a great way of doing it, actually. Good recommendation. Timer as well as chronometer in rifts. Watch someone else live gameplay. That's a fun one. And another Discord skin. Man, everyone wants to get the wizard skin. If you didn't get the wizard, it's because you were not an OG of the Discord. I believe you had to be in the Discord and have applied for this through their Discord announcement system prior to the game's actual launch. If you were there, you got this cosmetic, which is, it's cool. I mean, it's not my favorite cosmetic, but it's cool that I have it because it shouldn't be available to anyone else. It should only be available to those people because that's what makes it so cool and exclusive. Kind of like how we have this OG crew title as well. I think that it's really, really cool. Let's go a little bit more. We'll look at a few more of these. And see any big ones right here. Actually, I like when it's broken down. Again, we have create guilds and clans, PvE dailies, weeklies, and monthly projects. Not bad. I like projects. They help you grind as well. PvP wars with leaderboards. That sounds like a lot of fun. I could see, and I've said it since day one, I've seen PvP esports all over this thing. Supercell, I'd love to be a part of that. I've been itching to get back into the esports zone. This can be a ton of fun for esports. We'll see if that ever happens. Clan Guild Upgrade Base, bigger apartment with cosmetics, earned free and paid for Supercell revenue. The clan can hang out, voice chat, and do whatever. That would be awesome. Also, people want controller support. I personally don't, but I know a lot of people do like to play on controllers. I wonder if you could use Backbone with this. I haven't tried it on my Backbone. I wonder if you can. Either way, it is something that we have seen a lot of. This list goes on and on. Again, I'm going to link it down below because I want you guys to be able to take a look at it in full. But the community is being listened to by Supercell, and I think that's really important. The game is global, but everyone can't get it yet. Soon, hopefully, everyone will be able to get their hands on moco, and we could all explode as a community together playing an action RPG in a world that we absolutely love. I'm going to remind all you guys, please use code ECHO inside of your game, whether it's this game or any other Supercell game. It directly supports my channel, and subscribe to the channel because we do videos and live streams every single day for moco.